better appreciate. Tell them I said so.
I will.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it misbehaved. It's gonna piss me off.
Hello, Mayor.
Nick, how are you doing?
For how long are you mayor? Okay.
Maybe 10 more minutes. Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming. Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this evening started. We're going to go ahead and start with roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. I realize this will be the last time that I call this roll here, this particular roll call. Mayor LaBarre,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Case,
Here.
Councilmember Connors,
Here for the very last time.
Councilmember Harvey,
President and accounted for.
Councilmember Nakai,
Here.
Councilmember Neal,
Here.
Councilmember Zuluaga.
I am present.
Thank you. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and this evening, we're gonna start with item 3A, and Suzanne is going to give us the results of the 2024 municipal election.
I think everybody in the room knows the results, but officially I'd like to share the results and some information about the election. So this election was monumental for us as the your election officials, your judges, and everybody. It was monumental in the fact that we received more ballots this election than we've ever received in an election. We received, yeah, thank you, all of you. Yeah. We received 2,958 ballots. That equaled 51% of the voters. That's a high return. You know, we've looked at the past history and I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of the citizens. I'm pretty proud of everyone that participated in that process. With that being said, just because I need to read the results, we had an election for mayor. And as I'm sure everyone here knows in the room, that Kelly Case won the election for mayor. She had 1551 votes and Jerry Penland had 1357 votes. So Kelly Case will become the mayor this evening. As far as city council, we had Steve Smitty Smith, who won with 1818 votes, so 1,818 votes. We had George Jones, who won with 1,801 votes. We had Terry Baldwin, who won with 1,753 votes, and Jeffrey Gear, who won with 1,625 votes. So that will be your new council members that will be sworn in a little bit. Jeffrey Gear will be doing a 2-year term. The other 3 will be doing a 4-year term. All of that being said, even though the city of Woodland Park conducts a mail ballot election and ballots can be dropped off prior to 7 p.m. on election day, this city is a city that votes last minute. And my judges that are here with me this evening will tell you that. On election day, we received 30% of the ballots. On election day, we received approximately 880 ballots. On election day, most of those ballots came in after 3:30 p.m. We're a city of last minute voters. And our election judges were prepared. They had everything was in order and they were expecting this. And so it didn't overwhelm them. It didn't overtake them. They just dealt with it, did the process, did what they needed to do. These judges that I use for the election are exceptional. And I'd like to have the judges that are here, please stand up so I can introduce them. Okay, so I'm gonna, please stay standing. I'm going to start with the beautiful lady in the burgundy top there. Everyone that's been around for a while has heard me brag and talk about Shirley Douthit. I could not run an election without her. She is our lead election judge, and everything that Shirley does is with the utmost integrity. Shirley's been an election judge now for many, many years for the city of Woodland Park. She conducts the election with the utmost integrity, and every time we have a doubter of the process, and we had quite a few doubters of the process this year, right, team? Shirley takes them, she spends time with them, she shows them the process, and by the time they walk out, they're a believer. And they believe what we're doing, and they know we're doing a good election with integrity, and every vote is being counted. I cannot praise Shirley enough for all of our help with this election. The other judges that are here with me this evening, I will start with Pat Hines, she's one of our newest judges. She helped us with the special election for a little while, and she's worked a lot for the county, so I've stolen her now. I'm sorry, county, but we've stolen her here now at the city, and she is awesome. She came with lots of knowledge. And then we have Mr. Mr. Jim Rumsey with us this evening. He is also another one of our judges, and there were many others. There were Jerry Holcroft, who could not be with us this evening, Sharon Richardson, which a lot of you know, she's one of our newer election judges. Jill White was a new election judge this year, Peter Scanlon, and Georgie Deppen. So I give credit to a great election, us being able to have the results as quickly as we were able to that evening to these folks here. So thank you very much. The final thing about the election that I would like to say is for the candidates, all of the candidates, the ones that won, the ones that didn't. I enjoyed getting to know each and every one of you. It's been fun. I met new people. I've learned a lot about you. And I hope that for those that did not win a council seat, that you would participate in the city. There's many other ways you can get involved. And if you are ever interested to any of the candidates, call me, come see me, and I could tell you other ways and other activities you could be involved in to help. And so thank you. Thank you to everyone. I think it was a great election. To me, our candidates all took the high road. It was not the candidates that were out there doing any of the social media. Every single candidate took a high road, and I thought it was an excellent election. So thank you to everybody.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and have our council who are leaving, they have the opportunity to give outgoing remarks. And I'm aware that one has set up some equipment here. So would you like to start? I'll finish. Yeah, so. All right, I'll let Carol, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Wow, I didn't realize I could have had a musical accompaniment. Maybe I'll join yours. Kelly, or I'm sorry, Hillary, I have to start with you. For those of you who don't know, Hillary LaBarre was the first female mayor of Woodland Park, which in itself is an accomplishment. But beyond that, she, in the tenure here on council as a council member, mayor pro tem during a very difficult era, and then as our mayor, is probably the most commonsensical individual I've worked with on the council in the numerous years I've been involved with the council or the planning commission. So Hillary, regardless of any other comments I may ramble on with, my first thanks goes to you, and I cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate your demeanor, your civility, and your ability to herd this group of cats. Thank you so much.
That means a lot coming from you and your experience. Thank you.
Obviously have to thank the staff that I've worked with for several years. Suzanne, I will miss you, but don't worry, I'll probably be over here bothering you anyway. Aaron, thank you so much for stepping up, and I look forward to the many years that I expect you to be our city manager. Hint, hint. We've had numerous legal teams since I've been involved with council, and right now I can't tell you that I've ever worked with a more jovial city attorney as Mr. Wilson. And his expertise and his advice to me over the last several months have been invaluable and hopefully have kept me out of jail and will continue to keep me out of jail. To my fellow council members, I knew many of you before you appointed me last year to fill a vacancy for David Ott, and your confidence in me has been so appreciated. I can honestly say that every one of you have earned the respect of the community and certainly my respect. And I am going to miss seeing you on every other Thursday night, although my husband Gary will not. So this is the first meeting he's ever come to. I think you need to acknowledge that that Gary's here. Yay, Gary. But you have many challenges for those of you that are staying on council to come. Those of you that are leaving council tonight, I know that you will continue to be involved in the community. Frank, I hope that you'll continue to be our military liaison for the city. Robert, you and I almost always agreed on most topics, believe it or not. And again, your concern for this community is greatly appreciated. And to the community, thank you for allowing me to serve. I hope to continue to serve the community. Just because I'm a great grandmother now doesn't mean I'm going to hang everything up. So thank you all and thank you.
Thank you. Frank, would you like to go?
Thank you, Mayor. And congratulations to the new mayor. Appreciate that. All things are good. I'm very proud that I've served for 2 years for this city, and it's very exciting to see how we're changing as a city. I respect our city staff and our police force, and I'm going to end with a dad joke. So you're ready, Mr. Jeff? Why do ducks have flat feet? And John, you're in the audience, you might know this. So why do ducks have flat feet? Stamp out forest fires. So why do elephants have flat feet? Stamp out burning ducks.
Thank you.
And thank you all. Appreciate it.
I take what I said about Frank back.
All right, Robert, would you like to go?
Okay. I'll start by an explanation. I've had a wonderful council over the past 4 years, and I wanted to share an example of how wonderful the council was that I had with my wife. Today, we were out on a walk. I take my little dog on a walk, and Dawn is going with me, and we just go around the block. She could see that something was going on in my head, and she said, "What are you thinking about?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about what I wanted to say goodnight or for my farewell speech." And she said, "Well, why don't you just write down everything you're going to say?" I said, "Oh, honey, that is a really, really good idea." Then she said, "Use a 3x5 card." So I go home, I get my 3x5 card, I sit at the desk, and what does she do? She walks by and she says, "Cut it in half." So my entire speech to my fellow council members, it has been an honor, privilege, and pleasure for those that are still speaking with me. To the citizens, I know half of you hate me half may understand what I tried to do and the principles I tried to follow. Thank you for your support. I did my best. To the city staff, the way to say thank you to them is to tell the citizens, I cannot believe that a small town like this has somehow managed to acquire and maintain this incredible staff. I'm not going to mention you by names. This is probably the finest municipal staff in the entire state of Colorado. And for those of us that work with the staff like this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot have a better staff. Thank you. To my wife, thank you for letting me fulfill my promise to the city. And now it's time for us to focus on the future. Thank you. To you.
Well, as many of you know, Rusty and I share very few commonalities, but we have a few. But what he just started with, I started out with a wife and a dog. And so I didn't get the same counsel that you got. So I did write out my speech. And it does not fit on a 3x5 card. And I will cut it in half when I'm finished. All right. I could say it straight from my heart, but I want to cover the points that I've written down because I thought about them. It's been a great honor to serve on council, a joy to serve in the community. So I say this, fellow citizens of Woodland Park. Oh, I already said this part. It's been an honor, my joy to serve you for the past 4 years with all my heart, all my soul, all my mind, and all my strength. With dedication and an effort to leave this office better than I found it. You and I live in the greatest form of government ever birthed in the civilization of the world, the civilizations of the world, as an experiment in government that gives equal opportunity for all men and women to become all that God created them to be, each in our unique value and worth. The checks and balances on power are spread out through 3 branches of government, and the past 235 years has kept us free from tyrants, monarchs, and oligarchs. At a local level, we on council reflect the various voices and interests within our city. Even so, often council agrees, other times it's a lively battlefield. So thanks to each of you, my colleagues, Hillary, Kelly, Rusty, Catherine, Frank, love you, man, and Carol, and those who've gone before us, Valcar, Jim Pfaff, David Ott. Who else has been with us? Who could forget Stephanie Alfieri? God bless you, Stephanie, if you're listening. She is very cool. Where am I on my reflection here? We are a reflection of the divisions, the hostilities, and the volatility of the world we live in. Our jobs as servants of you, the people of Woodland Park, is to navigate the waters of difference with civility, respect, and hopefully a strong moral compass. I have not agreed with many of you on some very important legislation and quasi-judicial matters that have come before this body. As I reflect on the last 4 years I've served, all in all, we've seen some excellent improvements within our city. For example, our police department has been revamped from the inside out, thanks to a team effort of city managers, and I say plural, interim police chief, and now the strong leadership of our new chief, Chris Deisler. Thank you, sir. Our city manager's office has seen 3 managers, and I believe we are in a very good place with you, Aaron. So all the very, very best. We have, and Suzanne, almost can't leave talking about Aaron without speaking about you. And you are the lifeblood of staff. You're the standard, you're the anchor, you know everything. And if you don't, you know where to find it. And you've really made the transition from some challenging city managers, if I can put it that way, through to Michael and on to Aaron. And you've been that link piece, and I just very much appreciate you and appreciate you on a personal level too. So thanks for everything you do for the city. Yeah. We have dutifully created our 10-year Envision Woodland Park 2030 plan, comprehensive plan, which I hope we keep in perspective is simply an aspirational document. We paid off the Memorial Park, and our budget process has been tidied up. We've streamlined, we've become way more transparent, and we even are projecting 5 years forward. All this was a distant hope 4 years ago. There's other exciting changes, all that I cannot acknowledge, but plans for a 350-acre-foot reservoir, and of course, Avenger Open Space are two that we're all singing praises over right now. So thank you, Kip. I know you're not here, but kudos to you, brother. Our municipal judge needs our prayers and support for her daughter as she weathers some pretty serious health challenges. So for those of you who believe in the power of prayer, please keep her in your prayers. Our attorneys have seen a turnover from in-house representation to an outside firm. They've been going through some growing pains as they launched their practice at the time we brought them on board. Now they're more settled. In future, as I expressed to Jeff, I hope we see more proactive work on behalf of the city from their seasoned wealth of experience. And just like his head shows, he's got a wealth of experience in there. I felt that they spent too much time delving into the weeds on what I would term poorly designed legislation. I remain concerned for the health and safety of our children at the high school with the plans for a cell tower at the aquatic center. I hope that our parents raise their voice and have this re-examined. 5G sounds really cool. Well, I disagree. I'm from the old school where privacy and health matter, and not all technology is progress towards quality of life. I was really encouraged to see the collective voices of our community who stood up against poor legislation that affected your neighborhoods. I now celebrate with you in your victory in clearly letting your legislators know, in no uncertain terms, that you wanted to protect the intimacy of our neighborhoods from a parade of visitors that, according to our zoning laws, rightfully belong in commercial zones. There may be a few more kinks to work out that need to be ironed out. However, I think short-term rentals now have a clear path forward in our community. And here's what I mean. There's multiple interest groups in our community, and I see that we need to get behind our business community, unify our support to cultivate a vibrant downtown business district that weathers the ups and downs of the seasons that make Woodland Park so attractive to all of us. There's an ongoing market for STRs and other innovative attractions to our visitors in the proper zones. We're also a college town. They are now the largest employer in Teller County. The Bible College draws visitors and temporary residents from all over the world. They train their students up as ambassadors and workers in the field of God's kingdom and send them back out into a tumultuous world. Hopefully, these temporary gifts will carry a favorable report far and wide of their experience here in Woodland Park and encourage folks to visit our infamous Cowhand, the Donut Mill, restaurants, and the multiple coffee shops we now have, and say how they've enjoyed outdoor activities in our parks and trails. We are ambassadors. Oh, my phone.
silly thing.
4 years. 4 years, and I still haven't muted this silly thing. All right, sorry. We have plenty of challenges ahead. So I thanked all of you guys, so I'll skip that part. Tonight, we pass the torch. We attach the torch onto the next elected custodians of your vote and trust they will both understand and uphold the oath they're about to take. As I return to the body politic of we the people, most of you know very little about me. Public office shouldn't be a popularity contest, or we would be at risk of compromising the integrity of your sacred trust. Currently, pejoratives towards one another keep us unnecessarily divided. Sometimes folks like you up here, and as Rusty says, sometimes they flat out just hate you. As a first-generation American from a large family, I'm no stranger to differences of opinion. I've lived and traveled overseas, learning of other cultures and beliefs, and I self-identify as a spiritual seeker, the seeker of truth, asking, what is the meaning of this life? Desiring to be a light in a lost and troubled world and offering to be a service along the way. We're all travelers through time, and as nice as it is, Woodland Park is not the permanent home for any of us. I've been gifted with a reasonably pleasant voice, one my mother hoped that I would cultivate so as to bless folks. Well, tonight I would like to sing a song for you that came from a Broadway musical, Man from La Mancha. Some would say that it's a really silly quest, that Don Quixote is on, well, you decide. I hope this speaks to you in your journey in life. So let me set the stage. Does somebody know how to turn this on? Oh, it's already on? Oh, you're so good. Thank you, Eric.
You're gonna impersonate me.
So I'm set. Yeah, we'll get to it. Oh, yeah, right, exactly. So Aldonza says, can you hear this all right? Is that good? Okay. Yeah. Aldonza says, why do you do these things? Don Quixote, what things? Aldonza says, this ridiculous thing that you do. Don Quixote says, I hope to add some measure of grace to the world. Aldonza, the world is a dung heap and we're maggots that crawl on it. Don Quixote, ah, my lady knows better in her heart. Aldonza, what's in my heart? Well, we'll get halfway to, and you, Don Quixote, you're going to get the dickens beat out of you. Don Quixote, whether I win or lose, it does not matter. Aldonza, what does? Don Quixote, only that I follow the quest. Aldonza, what do you mean, the quest? Don Quixote, it is a mission to each knight, his duty, nay, his privilege. The impossible dream to fall, the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to strive when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. Well, this is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for what's right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm as I'm laid to my rest. And the world will look better for this, that one man, scorned and troubled with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. Yes, this is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for what's right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm till I'm laid to my rest. Now to dream a possible dream. Yes, to reach a once unreachable star. Now just possibly to reach the possible, yes, the possible dream. Thank you. And I want to thank Rose Drew, my accompanist. Thank you, dear. God bless you. Awesome.
I want a do-over. Did you bring your batons?
Sorry, batons?
Got my baton. No, I
Sorry,
forgot
no
to
do-over,
personally
not that
thank
brave.
Rusty, Kelly, and Catherine. But thank you very much, Robert. That was inspiring.
I want the other half of my 3x5 card.
It's reasonable.
Oh, could you please introduce your keyboard player?
Yes, Rose Drew. And Rose, where do you do some of your work?
No, churches, I played at Reserve, played over ice. Anyway.
Yeah, so we'll try to get you out there on Facebook. So thank you. You're awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, thank you, Robert. I don't have a big speech written. I just want to say that this position cannot be accomplished without staff. And I would look like an idiot without you guys. all of you, from the very top upper echelon, from Aaron, all the way down to the newest hire. The city could not function without you guys. You make all of this happen, and you make it happen seamlessly and beautifully. So thank you guys very, very much. Don't make me cry. So, to my fellow council, I could not be successful in this position or have these meetings run well without all of your help, respect, and professionalism. So thank each and every one of you. I have sat through councils where members lacked that gravely, and all of you, whether we've agreed on things or not, have made me shine, and I could not have done it without you. So thank you. No. To the citizens, thank you very much for having faith and trusting me to be in this position. Because above all, I would not be here without you guys. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. You have given me an immeasurable, incountable, invaluable life experience that I would not have had without you. Your trust in me is something that I hold closest to my heart, and it really, really means a lot to me. And your faith in me, I can't even thank you all enough. So thank you all very, very much. And for those that are listening, and I'd like to just quickly thank my husband too. He didn't know I was going to run. He didn't know I'd win. And I think he's maybe been to one meeting too, Carol. But he sure has had to sit through an awful lot of dinner conversations and topics about council that he never wanted to have to hear. So I owe him a huge thank you too for his patience and understanding. So, and with that, my term is adjourned. So thank you all.
All right, it's hard to top any of those, that's for sure. But to all of my outgoing mayor and council members, Mayor Labar, Councilmember Neal, Councilmember Zulawaga, Councilmember Connors, Harvey. As we recognize each of you here tonight, we are saying goodbye to some remarkable individuals who have served our community with dedication and commitment. You all have devoted your energy, your knowledge, and countless hours of your time making Woodland Park a better place for all of us to work, live, and hopefully most of us to play. Throughout each of your tenures, you have faced difficult challenges, and I know many in this community certainly did not envy your positions to have to make some very difficult decisions. However, you worked tirelessly, and some of you spent many, many hours to ensure that the voices of our community were heard and considered throughout each process that we faced. And for that, I say thank you to each of you, because I know that that's a lot to ask of each of you. As you move forward into your next chapters, I believe it is important for us to pause and reflect on the impact you've all made. Your dedicated service and leadership have encouraged us all to be better and to strive for excellence as a community. And I want to express my gratitude for the opportunity to serve with each of you. I believe your service has made Woodland Park a stronger community and hometown. I always say that it is an honor to serve with those who truly care, and each of you do. Again, I thank you all, and I wish you each the very best.
Thank you.
Those of you leaving council, it's been my pleasure to work with you. While you're all very different people, one of the things I was thinking about what you share, and what you all share is a real passion for this work and a focus on the details. Indeed, I can think of times with respect to each of you when I wished you were less focused on the details. But I mean that sincerely. Details where I live. And nobody makes you do this. You don't do it for the money or the glory, certainly. You do it out of a motivation to make your community better. And I've respected that my entire career, and I always will. And I thank you all for your service.
Thank you, Jeff. Council, I have thoroughly enjoyed working with each and every one of you over the past few years. I've been with the city a long time, and for many years, I've worked with many different councils. And I'd like to say that this is one of the best councils that I've worked with. As a community, we do not want a council that just rubber stamps everything. I've not seen that with this council. Every matter that has come before you, you have spent time researching, talking to your constituents, which I've appreciated. This council has not always agreed on everything, nor should it, but when a disagreement was had, respect was always shown for each other's opinions. We were together during some difficult times, this council and myself personally. This council was here for a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, which we had to navigate through and figure out ways to still conduct city business, hold council meetings, and be available for our citizens. This council was here for the death of a mayor, which had never happened in the history of Woodland Park. This council has been here for the transition of 3 different city managers. This council's been through a lot and has always continued to do what was in the best interest of the city of Woodland Park and its citizens. To Councilmember Neal, thank you for always showing respect. Being a very detailed person myself, I have always appreciated your attention to detail. Your contract reviews and always making sure that the city was being covered is much appreciated. Thank you for being the DDA liaison and helping mend the relationships between the DDA and the city of Woodland Park. I wish you and Dawn the very best in the future. To Councilmember Connors, thank you for all you've done for the city of Woodland Park, the staff and the citizens. You are one of the most generous and giving people that I know. Thank you for your support of me personally and your support of the staff. And most of all, thank you for your service to our country and continued service to our military folks here in the city of Woodland Park. Best wishes to you and Jennifer. Please know you are always welcome to stop by and say hello to us anytime you want to.
Thank you.
Councilmember Harvey, thank you for being a woman that I admire and look up to. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Suzanne, I'm not moving.
I know. So thank you for being a woman I look up to. I have incredible respect for you and all you have accomplished in your career and your service to this country. Thank you for always standing up for what you believe in and not backing down. I appreciate your passion and your hard work. Thank you for always making me feel appreciated and valuing my opinion. I wish you and Gary the best, and I know I will continue to see you around. I look forward to a continued friendship. Councilmember Zuluaga, thank you for being you. I have enjoyed our weekly one-on-ones with the city manager. I'm going to miss our many, many discussions. I've always appreciated the fact that sometimes we may not have agreed on issues, but you have always been very respectful. I am going to miss your positive attitude. I've enjoyed watching you on the dais, listening to every citizen that has approached the podium and always giving them your undivided attention and your utmost respect. The respect they deserve. I wish you the very best, and I cannot wait to see what the Lord has in store for you next.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Mayor LaBarre, boy, am I going to miss you. I appreciate over the years, every time we had a hard decision to make, you always asking what I thought. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I cannot tell you how much I'm going to miss you. You have always valued my opinion and have always made me feel respected and always valued. You're one of the brightest, most intellectual, intelligent women I know. I really appreciated having a mayor that knew the law and processes the way you do. I've appreciated the friendship that has formed between us over the years. I wish you and Peter the very best, as I know you both have big plans and lots of adventures ahead of you. I look forward to our continued friendship and now seeing you outside City Hall. Remember, we have lots of things to do, like playing pickleball, shopping, etc. Thank you for your service, each and every one of you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you very much.
And then I think Chief had some final words.
Well, good evening. Suddenly, I don't feel like I'm pressed for time anymore. I will not be singing. However, and she's here somewhere.
No
First-
jailhouse rock.
No, I don't expect you to sing it anyway. In all seriousness, Honorable Mayor, Council, Captain Arsenault and I are pleased to be able to spend a few minutes here with you all tonight. Many of you who are departing council have been with me from the beginning. Councilmember Harvey, we've been together a while now, but many of you have been there from day one. In about a month, I will start my 33rd year in this business. I have seen councils turn many, many times in my career, both at my prior sandbox and now this one. Public service is not easy. Every one of you should be commended for your willingness to step up and take the roles that you have. Because I know that our jobs aren't easy. I have a special appreciation for what each one of you have done. So thank you for being supportive of me and watching what we've tried to do together from coming 3/4 of the way across the country. When you come to a city this size, it's often hard to gauge what you will get. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, the pounds per square inch in this community with regard to the level of pride, the level of affection and adoration you have for the city is unmatched in my time. That's a fact. I am incredibly proud to belong to this town. Each of you have some challenge coins I placed in front of you, those of you who are leaving. Those of you who are staying, I'll give you yours later. For the sake of time, I placed them in front of you before the meeting started. They're small tokens of my appreciation to each one of you in a way that I hope that you will find meaningful. The silver one is our new department coin. I would like to present one of those to each of you as a symbol of the renewal and the rebirth, so to speak, of what our focus is and where we intend to continue to take this agency. I oftentimes tell my staff, excellence has no finish line, so we will continue to pursue excellence every chance we get. We will have our highs and we will have our lows, but the staff and I are committed to continuing to find that finish line. The gold one is a little bit different, and that's my Chiefs coin. I would like to give each of you one of those as a special token from me to you, just as a personal thank you for doing what you've done. Each of you have been very gracious to me in your individual capacities and as a group in this room. Mayor LeVar, you talked about trust earlier, and I can tell you unquestionably the trust that I have felt from everyone on the dais and many of those of you who I've grown to know in this room is not taken lightly, and I appreciate the fact that you're behind where we're trying to go. So remember as you leave, your impacts do not stop here. They will be forever felt year after year and generation after generation, because you are now indelibly etched into the walls of the building. So thank you. To those of you who are coming in, the staff and I continue to look forward to working with every one of you to continue to push the levels and make our department and our city team and our community the best place it can be. And I look forward to working alongside you to find out what else we can do to keep this train moving in the right direction. So I'm going to step away now with my thanks. I hope that I will continue to interact with each and every one of you. You all have my number. Don't be afraid to use it. We stand here ready to serve you now in whatever capacity we can. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So Mayor, now's the time. We would like to ask council to that exiting council to leave their seats and join Aaron and I, please, in front of the dais. Thank you. Chief, can you give us a hand too? Thanks, Eric. Council, we have a gift for you. The chief spoke about his coin. We have in our photos here, these are beautiful photos. Each and every one of them was taken by Kristen, right there. She's taken every photo. They're from various places in the city, has our city coin in it, your name, and the caption reads, "A grateful community thanks you for your service to the Woodland Park City Council." It has your dates of service on it, and on the back of it, the staff has signed it and written you sentiments. So thank you, and we'll give them to you. Let's see, whose is this one? And then we'll get out of the picture. So to the audience, for the final time, let's thank the outgoing council. Okay, because we don't have a mayor, I'm going to take over right now. The next order of business is we are going to administer the oaths of office to the incoming council members. And the first council member I'd like Mayor, the new mayor of the city of Woodland Park, to join Erin and I up here for her oath of office. Right here, so this. Okay, ma'am, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kelly Case,
I, Kelly
Do
Case,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of mayor of the city of Woodland Park,
of mayor of the city of Woodland Park
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon, up- mm,
Upon which I'm about.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. And you may take your mayor's seat. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Who's next?
Terry Baldwin, please. Stand right here, Terry, and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Terry Baldwin,
I, Terry Baldwin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
as council member
as council member
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. You may be seated. For this evening's purposes, everything is alphabetical. Would Jeffrey Gear please join us? Sir, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeffrey Gear,
I, Jeffrey Gear,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of council member
of council member
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, sir. George Jones. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, George Jones.
I, George Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of the
States,
United States,
state of Colorado,
state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and
of
ordinances
the city
of the city of Woodland Park,
faithfully perform the duties
and that I will faithfully perform the duties
of council member
of council member
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
upon which I'm about to
upon
enter.
which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Last but not least, I have to say Steve Smith. I can't do this mini part right now.
You just got you.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Steve Smith,
I, Steve Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and
of
ordinances
the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
the duties of council member
the duties of council member
of the city of Woodland Park,
of the city of Woodland Park,
upon which I'm about to enter.
about what I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. There. Under here.
Thank you, Suzanne. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you to the dais. Welcome. All right, where are we? Additions, deletions, and corrections to the agenda come in item number 4. However, I would like to ask the council, I would like to change section 3 by moving item F to follow item C on the agenda. And that is to discuss and or appoint a new council member to fill the vacated council seat, which would be the 2-year term that I vacated just now. Is any objection?
No, none whatsoever.
Suzanne, do we need a vote on that?
No,
Okay.
you're good.
All right, thank you. All right, we're done with A, B, and C. I'd like to now take item D, discussion and or appointment of a new council member to fill a vacated council seat. Suzanne.
Thank you, Mayor Case. The city charter advises us on what to do in the situation of a vacancy. And I have the city charter citation to read to you so you know what your duties are and your obligations are and how you may proceed this evening. So section 3.5 of the city charter states in section B, a vacancy shall be filled by a majority vote of the mayor and council after such vacancy occurs, provided there will not be a regular election within 90 days of such vacancy. To fill a vacancy, the mayor and or the remaining council members you may do one of the following 3 things. You may appoint any qualified person. You may conduct an application process, or you may appoint the person who received the next highest vote in the last municipal election, should the vacancy occur within 6 months of said election. The person appointed shall serve in that office until the next regular election. So those are your 3 choices, council.
Thank you, Suzanne. Council?
What, I'm sorry, Suzanne, did you include that we do nothing in that?
Nope, that's not in the charter.
Okay. But that's we have the 4th option of just
Yes.
staying at 6,
Yes,
correct?
but the charter doesn't
charter
say
doesn't
do
say-
nothing, so.
Correct, okay. So if nobody's gonna say anything, I guess I'll start. I've got one of 2 ways to go here. I'm perfectly comfortable reappointing Carol since she's been up here for the past 9 months, 8 months. And she can just pretty much, she already knows what she's doing. She can hit the ground running again. Outside of that, that's really the only one I'm comfortable appointing tonight. If we don't do that, I would rather take applications.
Okay. I do know that, just so the council knows, I did receive an email from another interested party, and I think it's only right that I share that with you all. Don Hoying, did I say it correctly? Thank you. Don Hoying, Suzanne's been trying to figure it out, so we wanted to make sure we knew how to say your name correctly. Has expressed an interest in being appointed. He is a current member of the Planning Commission. We have already taken one member of the Planning Commission with George joining us. And, but I wanted to bring that to your attention. We can, if you'd like, counsel, it might be good for the public to maybe speak with the interested parties. Or if there's anyone else that might be interested, like you said, we could do applications. Would you
Yeah.
be interested in hearing from them since they're here?
I mean,
Absolutely.
I would say yes and no because he showed up, but nobody else had the opportunity to apply or show up. So on a ground of being fair, I would say if we take applications, he can apply. That would be my.
I mean, my preference from my perspective, I kind of align with Catherine on, experience in this position and in this role matters. So from my perspective, I would be very comfortable in reappointing Carol Harvey to fill that vacant spot. I just think from a cohesiveness and continuity standpoint, it makes a lot of sense.
She does bring experience and we do have quite a number of new folks. And thank you for joining us. That's not meant to be an insult. So, all right. Since they're here, would you be opposed to hearing from them? And if the council can make a decision, then we will. If not, we can make a decision on how we want to move forward after today. Because we do not have to appoint today.
I mean, my preference would be to appoint today, admittedly. So, since Don's here, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get an opportunity to hear from him. And Carol's obviously already here as well. So, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't give him an opportunity to speak and do any further deliberation that they want to do, and then hopefully maybe make a decision.
The rest of you okay with that? All right. We'll start with Carol Harvey since it's alphabetical this evening. Carol, can you come to the podium, please? Would you mind just sharing again?
Oh,
A
Mayor
little-
Case,
Yes.
do we, in previous council meetings, when we've had this, when we've done this, we've sequestered the other person.
Oh,
Do you
yes, we
want to
did.
follow that same procedure this evening? It's
I
up
think
to you.
that's a good idea. Thank you
Okay,
for reminding me.
so we're going to ask Don, Aaron will just take Don out of the room for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. And Carol, thanks for reminding me. And
Well,
Suzanne.
and thank you. I am on. Well, I appreciate the opportunity and the confidence that some of you have demonstrated in reappointing me to fill a vacancy. We talk about experience. Yep, I'm a war horse. There's no doubt about it. I've been where you have been for those that are new to the council. For those of you who don't know me in the community, my husband and I have lived here almost 20 years now, and in Colorado almost 30. And most of that earlier time is when we were both in the military. But Woodland Park is our home, and I have had a keen interest in how our city lives and operates and continues to prosper for a number of years. For some who were around during those days, such as Kelly, I did serve on the Planning Commission for 4.5 years. 3 of those years, I was the chair of the Planning Commission, and that was back on a previous comprehensive plan, which I was obviously very intimately involved with. And know how important our current plan is, and so much appreciate the participation of the community in the drafting of that plan, and I think it's a good one. You also all know that I did serve on the council for 2 terms, and that I was lucky enough to serve the community again last spring when there was a vacancy that was created when David Ott had resigned from his position. My husband's here tonight because he's not really keen about me doing this again. But here I am before you. When you talk about experience, it only comes from serving, and all of you are doing that, and I have no doubt that you're going to do very well. I will offer this to you, that I have made all of the mistakes already. It doesn't mean that I won't make more in the future, but you do have that benefit if you do appoint me tonight. If you decide to go through an application process, I will also submit my application then. But I'm ready to step in tonight. There are several issues that the community is looking forward to. I know that I'm capable of addressing all of those. Everything from our ability to provide the safety and security for the community, which I think is our number one obligation as council members. Secondly is to preserve and protect our water rights. I think that's equal in importance to safety and security. And thirdly, I think an obligation for all of us in the community as taxpayers is to make sure our tax dollars are spent wisely. You have now the benefit of having I think one of the great financial minds of our community in our new mayor, but you also have a city manager who understands that process very well too. So I think that serves us all well. Kelly, thank you for stepping up to this position. I'm here to answer any questions you have, any concerns you may have. Catherine, thank you for stepping up and nominating or even considering me for a nomination tonight. But I would respect your opinion if you decide that you want to wait and take applications for this 2-year vacancy. What are your questions?
Thank you, Carol. Council, you have questions? please?
Suzanne, is there any implication from a term limit standpoint that we should be thinking of if we were to appoint Carol?
Nope, she's, she had a break in service.
Okay.
And so she's satisfied the break in service so she can start,
Perfect, thank you.
terms.
Yes, that was a charter change that I went through, I think, 10 years ago. So yeah, you got me at least for a 2-year term, and in theory, I could run again, but I'm looking for the next 2 years to assist all of you and to serve my community.
Well, Carol, I've known you for a while. I really have no questions for you whatsoever.
Well, I obviously have no questions. I've been up here with you for the last 9 months. We're good.
I was just gonna say, are you sure? Are you sure?
We should interview Gary.
I don't know about
My
that.
question, but you beat me to it.
All right. Thank you, Carol. We'll hear from Dawn now. Thank you so much. Just do this and I'll look for you.
Hello?
Thank you for stepping up and being interested in serving
Certainly.
and reaching out before we were all even sworn in. So if you just give us a little bit of information about yourself
Mhm.
and why you are interested in serving the 2 years left that have been vacated.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, it's an honor to be considered, so I appreciate that right off the front. I've been a resident of Woodland Park a little over a decade now. My wife and I literally looked all over the country and came to the conclusion this was the best place in the whole country to live. So super committed to this town. Want to see it succeed, want to see it thrive. Really want to see Woodland Park go forward, a place where families and businesses can really, thrive, not just live, but thrive. So a little bit about myself. So I have 35 years of prior experience as a civil servant, working for the Air Force and then the Space Force. So, serving the public good, having a commitment to support and defend the Constitution of the United States is a oath I took many times and a long time ago. So that's near and dear to me. That's a lifelong commitment. I've been in that experience as an engineer and a program manager. I have a great deal of experience in terms of understanding the details of rules and regulations and laws and how to apply them, contract management, going through, hundreds of pages of contracts, understanding how that works. So I think the skill set that I developed over the years working as a civil servant apply very well to this type of work. Also, the career I had, I got to move over many different places, start over with many new jobs. So it's always being thrown into a new challenge. So I don't know exactly what this journey, leads to, but I know that time and time again, I've been thrown into challenges with not really knowing where that would lead, but, having that confidence and faith that I could learn the job and learn it quickly and
generally within a few months, people ask, how long you been working here? And I'm like, and they think I've been here, for decades, but so, I'm a fast learner, I would say, fast adapter. I think it's although it's not technically, a political, job, it's probably worth at least sharing, my leanings, if you will. So, I'm a conservative, but, I do not bend to the labels of party affiliation one way or the other. So, I think it's really important for government to focus on what it's meant to do and what only government can really do, and that's manage the shared resources, and let for the free market do what it's best at doing, and that's figuring out where's a good investment, what's a good thing to build, where's a good place to grow. And so as the government side, which, like I said, I worked for many decades, I think the key things to focus on are the shared resources, the infrastructure, and then creating the environment where businesses can be successful, but not picking winners and not picking losers. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions y'all might have.
I'll lead off if that's okay.
You bet.
So Don, hello. I've gotten to know Don through Planning Commission, and I concur with many of the points that you've made. I think you're a very sharp guy. You've got a lot of background that is very interesting. Are you retired military?
No, I'm civil service. So I've worked as a government
Okay.
employee, and then now I'm working as a contractor.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. What would be what's your objective? What's your goal coming on the council? What's something that, you want to sink your teeth into?
Yeah, and when I stood here and I asked a very similar question by Mr. Zulaga, for Planning Commission.
Right.
In many ways, my answer hasn't changed. I'm concerned that Woodland Park has such a large percentage of what I would call service economy. There isn't a whole lot of organic generation of jobs and wealth within the community. Examples like I go to one of the many outstanding restaurants in this town, tip the waiter, the kitchen staff gets paid, and then they go, to City Market and whatnot. But that money keeps going in a circle within Woodland Park. But what's bringing resources and new money into the town? I'm worried that we're coming up short there. So whatever we could do, outreach, incentives. Some towns have like an incubator where they can foster the development of businesses that could, bring in revenue, bring in resources to the town. So that's something I would like this town and the council to chew on, as you said.
Okay, thank you.
Terry? Don, how long have you been on Planning Commission?
Since November.
Okay.
Catherine, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. So, what do you think is the council's number one job? What's its number one role?
Well, come back to, I think what I said before is create the environment that will foster success of the families and businesses in this town, not to choose what businesses win or what, but create an environment where all can compete fairly and have the environment where they can succeed, where they have a high probability of success. So if we do that, if we have strong businesses, strong families, I'm really not worried about too much else, to be quite frank.
Jeff?
Yeah, I'm just gonna play campaign person for a moment since I got asked this a lot in the last 60 days. What do you see as our greatest challenge upcoming?
I'm hesitating because oftentimes, it's the elephant in the room. But there's a leader of a church on up the hill here, also a leader of a large employer, the largest employer, as we learned earlier tonight, who's quite frankly said he thinks a civil war is coming and they got lots of guns. And these are the words of Andrew Womack. These are not just hearsay. That worries me, worries the hell out of me. You know, so I think we need to, I wish I had, you know, this is what we do. This is how we resolve this. You know, we're going to share this space for some time, maybe a long, long time. And so coming to a resolution where the desires and objectives of Womack Industries and Karis Bible College and the desires and objectives of the citizens of Woodland Park can be copacetic, and nobody wants a civil war. Nobody wants that type of open conflict. So that's the biggest challenge we're facing. You know, I just like you, I knocked on doors and talked to people about this election and prior elections. And that's the big issue that needs to be worked. And it's not just going to be a simple snap your fingers and, oh, everyone's kumbaya. I mean, it's going to take work to come to some common understanding where, you know, there isn't this polarization in two sides of this town. You know, first decade or so I lived here, never even thought about it. And now every time I meet someone, I kind of have to ask myself, quote unquote, which side are they on? And I hate that. And I want us to get past that.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Questions? You want me to step out?
No, I think we'll bring Carol back in.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna. Is he? We don't. Don, did you want to address the council? Are you expressing interest?
Yeah, I didn't realize there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask the council, okay, please?
If we're gonna do this
Yeah, we're
this
kind
way,
of,
I think we need to go
Through
just
the
accept the
application
application
process.
process.
we're getting dangerously
Getting
close to
we're
the
getting- yeah.
application process.
Optics here are not great, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that is that consensus?
Yeah.
I think so at this point.
Okay. Suzanne,
So, in the past, what we have done is I've put out an application to the citizens of the city of Woodland Park. We run it for 30 days. We accept the applications for the 30 days. And then what we just did, we would do at that time. We would have every single person that applies come up to the podium and speak, and then council would vote and choose a council member. The 30 days, I already did the calculations thinking that might be the way we were going. If I started running the ad on Monday, which is April 8th, it would run until May 8th. And at the May 16th council meeting, you could do, before council, you could do a 6 o'clock interview process, public meeting. And then during the council meeting, you could deliberate, talk about it, and then vote and choose somebody. If that's council's desire, I will run that ad on Monday and do as you wish.
Yeah. And Suzanne, can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
Would Carol and Don have to apply and then go back through okay, so
I
we just
think
have
it
to
would be, I think that would be
Yeah.
the right thing to do for everybody to do the same process.
Right. Okay.
go ahead.
So Dawn and Carol reached out to you to say they were interested?
Yes.
In advance of this meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just need direction from council, and I'll do whatever you
It sounds
wish.
like we have.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe we need to-
Okay,
Thank
so for the community, the public, the requirements to be on council, we just have to make sure that everyone knows the requirements to be on council. You have to be 18 years old, live in the city of Woodland Park, and not be a convicted felon and also be a citizen of the United States. I'll put that all out in our advertisement.
And
We'll start advertising all over social media, and Kristen will assist me with that. And we'll run that April 8th until May 8th and put it on the council agenda for May 16th to conduct interviews. Would council like to do that at 5:30 rather than during the
Right.
council meeting?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that makes sense. And if you're good with that, Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, and one other point though, I think in there was you have to be a resident for a year,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I just didn't hear that in it.
And if we get inundated with applications, we will change the time accordingly. We may
Yeah.
have to go till 5 o'clock. We may have to start earlier.
Right.
So we'll assess the situation on how many applications we get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good.
council.
Yep.
Thank you for indulging us as well. Item E, appointment of a mayor pro tem. Suzanne.
Thank you. Mayor, Case and Council, again, I am going to refer to the city charter, which guides us on what a mayor pro tem is, what their duties are, and the guidance to appoint one. A mayor pro tem shall be elected, appointed by the council, elected from its own membership at the first meeting following each election. So that is in the charter. That needs to be done tonight, the mayor pro tem. The mayor pro tem shall serve until the council meeting following the next regular city election and shall act as a mayor during the absence or disability of a mayor. If a vacancy shall occur in the office of mayor pro tem, the council shall choose his or her successor for the unexpired term. In the event of absence or disability of both the mayor and the mayor pro tem, the council shall designate another of its members to serve as acting mayor during such absence or disability. Any mayor pro tem or acting mayor while serving as mayor shall retain all powers granted herein to council members. So the one thing that I do bring to your attention is that it's the first meeting following the election. So here we are.
Mayor, I had a question for
Yes, sure.
Suzanne. So Suzanne, there's been some early discussion about this idea of you appoint a mayor pro tem, but is there a way to unappoint a mayor pro tem?
I'm going to defer to the city attorney for that one.
The charter is, as Suzanne just described, the charter does not foreclose the option of council to appoint a new mayor pro tem at some point along the way.
Okay.
I mean, if it's the council's pleasure that someone else serve as mayor pro tem, I think it's reasonable to infer that the council has that prerogative.
Okay.
Council-
May I make a motion?
You can.
I'd like to move that we nominate Catherine Nakai as mayor pro tem for the remainder of her active term.
Second,
We need a second. We need a second in order to
just- we
proceed with
did.
discussion. Did we have one? Sorry, Smitty, your voice is not back yet. Thank you. All right, council, further deliberation.
So let me, I'll just start off and just kind of justify why I made that motion. Catherine, unless we appointed somebody like Carol, Catherine has the longevity, if you will, of all of us here today. And I think that this position should at least consider the experience that she has.
Thank you. Jerry?
Can I ask a direct question to Catherine?
Sure.
I thought you didn't like public speaking. Is this something that you're interested in?
I'm not a fan of public speaking, but I sit up here now and speak. So yes, I actually am interested.
Which is different than running a meeting?
Yes, it is. But yes,
Okay.
I am interested.
Okay.
Further discussion? All right, Suzanne?
So I
Wait.
have, I have a.
Oh, I didn't
Think-
see your
Sorry.
hand.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
my fault. Be more demonstrative. So can we make a counter motion or?
First, you have to vote on the
Okay,
motion on the
okay.
floor,
Okay.
right, Jeff? So first, if this motion fails, then you can make another motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion, shall I?
You can call the question.
Okay, so we have a first, a motion by George Jones. And we have a second by Steve Smith, and I'll take the vote. Mayor Case,
No,
Baldwin,
Yay.
is that yes?
Yes.
Okay. Gear,
No.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
thank you. Motion carries 4-2. Congratulations, Catherine.
congratulations, Catherine. Are we going to change seating or are we going to proceed with the meeting?
Let's proceed.
Okay,
Yeah,
is
for
that what you
tonight,
prefer?
yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you, council. Item F, 3F is review of boards and committees for council liaison positions for the April 18th meeting. Today, we're just going to consider them. I think Suzanne has information for us and have discussion. And then at the next meeting, we'll work through that and everyone can figure out where they want to be.
Sure, I don't need to read this verbatim to you. You all have it in your council. You guys listening?
Yes.
Okay, you all have this in your packet. And it just goes through the different committees that we have council liaisons to. So we have PPACG, we have Keep Woodland Park Beautiful, Utility Advisory Board, we have a CML Policy Committee, we have the Parks Recreation Advisory Board, Historical Preservation Committee, and the DDA. The descriptions, the times they meet, and everything are in your packet. So we ask that you look at them, you study them, and we will discuss it at the next council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any questions, council, before we go on? Okay, thank you. Item 4, additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda. Do we have anything, Suzanne?
We do not.
Thank you. Now we have item 5, which is the consent calendar. Typically, council, we consider the consent calendar as one item. And we can, if there's something on there that any of you would like to have discussion on or consider separately, you just need to ask to have that removed from the consent calendar. We can put it under new business or where it should be on the agenda and consider it then. Otherwise, and then we have, I just want to explain for you all, just to help you a bit. The ordinance number 1473, this is first reading. The purpose of the first reading of an ordinance is really to set the public hearing so that we have all of the parties involved with the item in the audience so that we can hear the public and hear all of the things associated with the ordinance, presentations, staff reports, etc. So that's the process with the consent calendar. Aaron, did you have anything to share for item B?
I can if you would like. We are going to bring this to the DDA for approval on April 9th. Their meeting was delayed a week because of the election and this room was taken up. But essentially it's $150,000 grant that the DDA has approved for Netco, and this is a supplemental, so that can actually be dispersed.
This is the fire truck grant, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it will be exclusively used for a fire truck, so they will hold it in a liability account and wait until they can actually use it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Council?
So if there's no other questions, I move to adopt the consent calendar as presented.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. Any other deliberation or questions, council? Suzanne?
Thank you. Baldwin,
Yes.
Gear,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Case.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, council. Now we're on to item 6, public comment on items not on the agenda. Do we have anyone signed up, Suzanne?
I have to go get the list in the back, but we do have a special guest this evening that would like to speak, and I will call up Justin and he can introduce himself.
Absolutely.
Oh, come on up. Oh, thanks, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Council. My name is Justin Kurth. I'm the Regional Director for Congresswoman Brittany Pedersen of the 7th Congressional District, which we find ourselves in the eastern portion of. But it also includes, Broomfield County down to Custer, Chaffee and Lake out to Teller, but also Green Mountain Falls, every bit of it. I wanted to share just a few updates that a Congressman's been working on in DC on all our behalf. And but before I do, real quick, a quick review of where we have offices. The Lakewood office, 550 South Wadsworth, but also the Canyon City office, which I staff full time. My family and I live in Fremont County, have for many years, and the Congresswoman committed to putting an office down there when she was elected, did so. We've had that office open down there since April, and I've been on staff since the January last year. So that being said, some good news to brings to the new council here. The community project funding for FY24 was passed when by the House, the Senate, and then signed by the President in March, along with the nation's budgets, to include $14 million out of 15 projects that the Congresswoman was able to get approved through the House Appropriations, and then the Senate, and then of course, the full House, and then the Senate, and then to the President. Of those projects, a greater than $950,000 amount is going to go to the radium mitigation effort at Teller County Water and Sanitation District to reduce the radium levels I'm screwing up what I've written here because my penmanship is poor. To reduce the levels of combined radium. There we go. On that note, community project funding for FY25, while specific guidelines on that are still pending from the House leadership, that information will be out soon. We keep working on the word soon, on defining that word soon a little better every time we can. But again, we're just waiting on the House leadership to release that information about when people can apply, what they can apply for. Importantly, of course, also what you cannot apply for. Last year was there was restrictions on like things for programs from Department of Education or Health and Human Services, also determined by the House leadership. We'll see what this year brings. As soon as we have that information, we'll be getting it to you. But I also would like to emphasize to you and anyone listening, you can go to pedersen.house.gov. On the services drop-down, there's community project funding page. On that landing page, there's a paragraph with the link in it says this form. The second paragraph says the words this form. There's a hyperlink. Filling out said form, name, email, phone number, is a way we can release that information to you as soon as we get it, and then can turn it around and get it to you. So it's basically an interest form for you to fill out. Say, I'm interested in hearing more. As soon as we have it, we'll get that to you. All right. Earlier today, I held mobile office hours for the community, and a good number of folks turned out this year. Previous one I held last year, and I intend to hold them more frequently than annual. I think last year we didn't crest 10. Today it was 22. So a lot of good engagement from the community on a range of topics. Before I offer congratulations to you, I want to also pitch one thing that is an annual opportunity for students, high school students in the region. That's the annual Congressional Art Competition. Essentially, we solicit to high schools in the district for them to share their art with the Congresswoman at a art competition that will be held at the Red Rocks Community College in, I want to say, the first week of May. The dates I wish I'd written down, but nonetheless, if they need help getting those pieces to the Red Rocks competition, I can help with that. But also, I can get you further information and deadlines, but it's on the Congresswoman's page, House webpage as well, pedersen.house.gov, all E's, 2 T's. And the winner out of that is one of 8 that the members of the Congress will then, because we have 8 districts, right? Will then host at the Capitol. It'll be in the, in the halls of Congress, literally, where members walk by. Each time I've gone to the Capitol on business there, I'm by that place like multiple times a day. So the visibility factor is real. But yes, that I want to end on the note of congratulating you, Madam Mayor, for your win and for helming this. How did they put it? This herd of cats. Well done. Yes, but also well done to you on your amazing effort here the last few years of your life. I'm sure you can never get back, but congrats on that. But also to Councilmember Terry Baldwin, Jeffrey Gear, George Jones, Steve Smitty Smith, and I look forward to getting to know you also, Catherine. How do you say your last name? Nakai, thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask it.
You bet.
Actually, Justin, I do have a question for you.
Please.
So do you interact with Teller County at all in any way, government or like our Teller County commissioners? Is that
Regularly?
Okay.
The short of it is that relationship grew out of not just like we were already making initial outreach when the office was opening back last year, since this is the Congresswoman's first term.
Yep.
But then a fire, for the 403 fire, accelerated that interaction, and we've been in coordination with, I would say, good correspondence with them ever since.
Good. Okay.
Can I make a quick highlight on that effort?
Oh, please. Yeah.
When we were able to understand the need coming out of that 403 fire, that where we could actually step in and fill a need as the Congresswoman's role in the Congress, in an oversight body, right, of the executive agency, of the executive branch, we were able to take a need that was being expressed and reach out to the chief of the U.S. Forest Service, say there needs to be alignment on fire bans in the area. Shortly thereafter, the chief of the Forest Service asked the local ranger to put in such a ban temporarily, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
That's something that we were able to do because we were interacting well with the commissioners here. So
excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, council? All
Our
right, thank you
next-
so much.
Our next speaker is Debbie Miller.
Welcome, Debbie.
Good evening, Debbie Miller, Woodland Park Chamber. I met some of you for the first time at the Chamber Candidates Forum, and I've known others of you before that. To Mayor LaBarre, thank you. You set the bar very high for our next mayor and for our council. And to those of the council that serve that have already departed, or if you're still here, thank you very much for your civil service. It takes a lot to put your name out there and then to get up on that dais and sit there. So I come before you tonight to remind and talk about the Candidates Forum and to talk to you about fiber. And you're looking at me like, what? Our community heard you at the Candidates Forum with one particular question, and I want to remind you of that question. And that question was that you all ran as an individual candidate. You stated in that Candidates Forum that you had no affiliation with organizations or people. And I know the community wants to hold you to that you're individual thinkers and that you will act on your own. And when I talk about fiber, you will be discussing literally fiber and internet and all of that. But there was something I learned here 20 years ago. This community is fiber optic. I sometimes wonder if people can read my mind, because before I ever get something to my chairman, he will have heard it. And I'm like, how'd that happen? We are a community of people who care, people who want to see the right things completed and done. So what I ask of you is something I heard actually out in Washington, D.C. last week through the National Association of Workforce Boards. We've lost trust in our elected officials, and we want to see the truth and trust come back. I ask that of you tonight, that those who elected and put you in office are trusting that you'll act on your own merits. You'll make the decisions and weigh those decisions, not being influenced other than being given the data that you need and to be able to make that decision. We look forward to, from a chamber perspective, to working with you, helping you out if you have any questions about the business community in any way we can. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. The next speaker, Suzanne Patterson. Welcome, Suzanne.
Congratulations to the new City Council board members, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with you, and I believe that that the best is yet to come. But I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mayor Hillary LaBarre for meeting with the Woodland Park School District Board of Education President Mick Bates on March 26th to sign the IGA for the schools tax, and we look forward to working with the new board and moving forward for what is in the best interest of the community and the responsibility of both parties and for our children. But I wanted to just give a shout out of what's going on in our schools. I wanted to spotlight that the Woodland Park School District had a very successful winter sports program, and some of our sports teams have gone to state, and we look forward to gearing up the spring sports season. And we're also gearing up for the CMAS and the SAT test and the PSAT testing for our students before the year is out. And I also wanted to let people know that we are proud to welcome the appointment of assistant principals for the Woodland Park Middle School and the assistant principal for the Woodland Park High School. And we welcome Mr. Chad Cosner, who will assume the high school assistant principal role, as well as Mrs. Michelle Eastman, who has been appointed to the new middle school. So I just wanted to close and again, say congratulations to you all. And I believe that the best is yet to come.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Gail Garrick.
Welcome,
Good
Gail.
evening. First, I'd like to say congratulations to the mayor and the council, and then thank you. Thank you for having the tenacity to step forward to serve Woodland Park government when it really needed it. What a relief to know that our city government will function without regard of religion and politics. It's also time to thank the people who worked and voted for this effort. The need for the community to continue such efforts will be ongoing. I'd also like to thank the previous mayor and council for acknowledging the extreme fiscal irresponsibility of the superintendent Ken Witt and the school board. Further evidence of this has come to light, so I urge this council to continue Ordinance 1471 until July. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Mayor. No other speakers, and there's nobody signed up on Zoom.
Right. Thank you. Anyone in the audience that hasn't signed up that wishes to address the council? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Please. We need you at the microphone so everyone can hear. It's okay. We won't keep you long.
Okay. I was concerned about the pine.
Ma'am,
that's
before you
stone-
begin, would you please give us your name?
Oh,
and
I'm
your town
sorry.
of residence, please?
Sure, I
Thank
just, my name is Betty Kavanaugh, and I live here in Woodland Park.
Thank you.
And I live over in this Stone Ridge Village. But there's also a situation going on over there that we're hearing about, and I'm really concerned about it. It's the pines at Stone Ridge, And they are evidently trying to put in 69 more residents over there, condominiums and patio homes, 49 condominiums and 20 patio homes, I believe. It's right across the street from me, which is on Ridgestone Drive. And they're only, because of a previous meeting, they're only in and out of that area is to be off of Stone Ridge Drive, which is almost both entrances where I live and the exit. I also have a mentally challenged child that crosses that road every day to go down to the mailbox. And I'm just wondering why someone can't get some other kind of entrance or exit off of Ridgestone Drive, because that's going to put an awful lot of vehicles on Ridgestone. In other words, maybe another, 130 vehicles on that one small area. When you consider most people have 2 vehicles. And not only that, the last time we were at a meeting, they said that their driveways were only going to be 18 feet long. Well, most pickups are 20 feet long. Not all, but a good share of them. Where are those people going to park? They're not allowed, according to what we were told before, that they would be able to park on the street. And if you've got 18-foot driveways and 20-foot trucks, where are they? Out on the sidewalk? You know, I think this is something that needs to be reconsidered as far as even getting into this area, because they said they can't go out on Research Drive, which some of the property is right there off of Research. The only other thing that I could see, maybe they're going to have to buy some more property so that they could go up where the light is on, let's see, Firestone, the one that goes out onto Highway 67. Because, and we were also told at the last meeting where I did attend that there was not going to be any turn areas or a traffic light coming off of Research. So I just feel like this is something that needs to be addressed. Maybe again, by whomever is repurchased or has purchased this property, and maybe rethink the number of people that are going to be coming in and out of that particular area.
Thank you, Mrs. Kevin.
Thank you.
Mayor Case,
Yes.
we do have, and it's your discretion, we do have someone that would like to speak now on Zoom.
That's fine. Thank you.
We have Ashley McCourt. And I think Eric will promote her as a panelist. Thanks, Eric.
Do we have,
Ashley, you may begin.
Can you hear me now?
yes? Just speak up a bit, please, so we can hear you.
I apologize. I'm trying to get also my video to work, but
There you go. We can hear you now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
good deal. And I apologize. My video for some reason is not working. My name is Ashley McCourt. I live off of Sourdough, and I wanted to touch briefly on the Tamarack PUD and preliminary plat issue that's from taking the tract that is at 67 in Sourdough from I think it's 26 houses or 26 lots up to 39 lots. 26 lots in it's I believe it's 20 acres. It's 20.6 acres. 26 lots on 20 acres I also work in real estate investment, so 26 lots in this 20 acres is already too many, in my humble opinion. It's double what should have been approved, but I digress. In keeping with the current neighborhood and keeping with the area, should have probably been about 10 to 15 large lots. Instead, now we're talking about raising from 26 to 39, which is a gross overdevelopment of a very small piece of property that sits in my backyard. Raising the number of homes in this area is going to put an enormous stress on all of our resources, natural resources. Water is my biggest concern, but then we're talking physical resources, police, fire, EMT, and the traffic. 39 more homes with an average of 2 cars each. So we're talking 80-ish cars in and out of this little neighborhood, this little turnoff off 67. I moved to Woodland Park to be away. I moved to Woodland Park to be away from the traffic, to be away from all of that. And we're bringing what I literally moved away from to my front door, to my neighbors' front doors. And I can't even think of a good option for the number of houses that we're putting on this small little piece of property. Like I said, keeping in with the current neighborhood, I don't know if we're talking about 26 to 39 affordable housing. That's not keeping in line with what's in our current neighborhood. I don't know if the intent, like I said, is the affordable housing. Maybe it's large homes on postage stamp lots, and that's still not in keeping with what we've got in our neighborhood. I don't know if we're putting homes in, all of these homes in to rent out to care students. I don't know. I can't think of any good option that would make the overdevelopment of this property okay. I don't know. I don't care. It's an overdevelopment, and that's not what I moved here for. I was literally just down in the Springs, looking up at Pikes Peak and looking up the pass, and all I could think of is please stop trying to make Woodland Park the Springs. We live in this quiet
Ashley,
little community.
if you could please wind up. Your 3 minutes are up.
Yes,
If you could
ma'am, I
please
am.
just wind up, I'd appreciate it.
I very much am. We move up here to get away from that hustle and bustle, and more people means more traffic. It means more crime. That one of the outgoing councilmen said that more technology doesn't equal progress. And I'll use that and say that more growth doesn't necessarily equal progress. There's an old saying that says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Woodland Park is a small, quiet mountain retreat, and we moved up here to get away from down the hill issues. So please don't bring down the hill issues up the hill. No one that I've spoken to off Sourdough is for this. So I'd simply just ask that you think about the people that this is going to affect the most, the people who are currently in this neighborhood, who love Woodland Park and call this neighborhood our home, and hear our wishes and take them to heart. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else, Suzanne?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, council, we're on to item 7, unfinished business. We have item A, Stone Ridge Village filing number 5, request for an extension to infrastructure completion deadline. And that would be Mr. Schmidt.
All right, thank you, new council. Welcome. So to give some background to this story, I put together a staff report that kind of went through this. So I apologize if I'm reiterating stuff that you've already read, but just wanted to give a background since brand new on the dais this evening. So Stone Ridge Village LLC began construction on a 16-lot residential subdivision on the 4th quarter of 2021 without an approved zoning development permit from the city. So in February, when I started, the city stopped the work and required a zoning development permit to be obtained. And after multiple iterations of review, the developer obtained an approved zoning development permit in May 22 and continued construction of water and sewer infrastructure. So now moving on to April of 2023, the developer requested to enter into a subdivision development agreement with the city to be able to obtain a plat and sell lots prior to all the infrastructure being completed. So that was the purpose of the SDA. The SDA was executed on June of 2023 with guarantees that all the infrastructure would be completed by April 20th of 2024. So a couple weeks from now. The developer began construction of the sidewalk. They began replacing the curb and gutter from a previously non-compliant installation and installing roadway in October of 2023. This is approximately a year and a half after receiving initial approval to begin construction per the zoning development permit. So we've had 2 pre-acceptance punch list walks that were conducted in December of 2023 and March of 2024. And we reviewed multiple iterations of submitted testing results and as-built, the most recent submitted in March 2024. There are still outstanding items that need to be installed and addressed prior to acceptance. So these include approximately 946 feet of sidewalk that was not installed. This is along the entire length of Firestone. 85 feet of sidewalk and ADA ramp that failed strength testing and failure to install a water system valve that was shown in the approved plan sets. So per the SDA, these items need to be completed prior to the April 20th, 2024 deadline. So should the SDA not be extended, the developer would forfeit the financial guarantees for those items, and the city would use the money to complete the work per the municipal code. And the developer would remain liable for all the costs of completion of the required public improvements in excess of those collateral amounts. And then the other important thing for this is that the certificate of occupancies for the houses currently under construction are also conditional on the city receiving the documentation, inspecting, and accepting all the subdivision infrastructure. So if the developer fails to complete the infrastructure and the city has to install it, this may delay the residential owners from receiving those certificates of occupancy until the houses are complete.
Thank you, Ben. Council, any questions of staff?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna, if I remember the agenda, the staff report, you actually recommend extending
That's what I was gonna
the
say.
extension, correct?
I do, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else of staff before I ask the applicant up? Would the applicant like to address the council? Well, Skip's coming up. Terry has a question of staff.
Did you just say that they began construction before they had a permit to begin construction?
That's correct.
And you're recommending that we extend the time?
Well, we stopped the construction once we found out that they didn't have a zoning development permit and worked with them to get an approved zoning development permit with approved infrastructure and grading plans so that we could move forward and work towards compliance in getting it corrected.
Does this happen often?
It does not.
Good evening, Skip.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Skip House, Project Manager for Stone Ridge Village. Filing number 5. We've been working with staff, as Ben said, over the last couple of months on this punch list to clarify and do some things. We got our paving approved, as he said, in October and then again in November. So we were completely paved by, I think it was the 12th or 13th of November. Winter set in. We've had some issues with frozen ground. And as you all know, we're still melting through about a 3-foot snowstorm. So we're looking at being able to enhance these improvements with some replacing of sidewalks and some other issues, finalizing some of the things that are pretty simple to do. Ben's been very cooperative with coming out and checking things, and we've wanted to make sure we were on the right path. So yes, we do need to extend the subdivision development agreement. We've asked for it for a couple of months. We've reached out to our primary people, Ideal Concrete doing the sidewalks, Martin Marietta doing some paving touch-up that Ben has requested. Some other items are being worked on as we speak. And the objective would be that they have indicated to us that they could get them in and completed within that period of time. We anticipate starting most of these things sometime in May. The recommendation is that the air temperature and ground temperature be above 50 degrees based on his recommendation to be able to make some of these installations. So we want to have the frost out of the ground and snow gone so we can get in and do those things specifically. So yes, the extension of the subdivision development agreement, which includes the extension of the letter of credit that's associated with that subdivision development agreement. And what we'd like to do is continue the relationship with staff over the next couple of weeks to specifically define the issues on the punch list. So if we've got, for example, an area where he's identified some paving damage, we want to make sure we can identify that specific area, maybe we even paint it or something like that. So when we bring Martin Marietta up, they can fix it once, get it done right, and move on. And so we'd like to work with staff over the next couple of weeks under the oversight of the city manager to get these things finalized so that we can both agree with where we're going, the specific language to get it done and the improvements necessary, and get past probably the next couple of weeks to hopefully look at some better spring weather, get the frost out of the ground, and get this completed in accordance with the extension timeline.
Thank you, Skip. Council, any questions of the applicant?
Yeah, I had one for you, Skip. What's your, and this is completely subjective, what's your confidence level in getting done in the timeframe that you're looking for?
Both of them have told me that we're subject to the weather, they'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Okay. And go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Then, so you said you had homes waiting for a CO right now?
They're currently under construction.
Okay.
So the issue was
Timing of the construction completion. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so before we could release building permits, the infrastructure had to be functionally complete.
Okay.
And like that we could operate the system. So we had to get to functionally complete first before we could release building permits. And now the final infrastructure has to be installed so that when you move into your house for a certificate of occupancy, you have a complete functional road system.
The foundations are currently just being poured.
They are. Okay. Okay. So timing wise, where do you see like there's a critical point coming? I mean, I imagine either of you.
Yes, it's as soon as we get breaks in the weather. I mean, today during site inspections around the city, there wasn't frost in the ground and there looked like a window of opportunity that you could pour concrete. But there's processes. It's more than just pouring the concrete. You've got to do your compaction. You've got to make sure those results are done correctly. Those have to be approved by the city. We've got to do form inspections and they have to pour. So there's a little bit of involvement, but the city staff has been diligent in going out.
Yes, and along that line, we're gonna have to coordinate with the builders. Because if we're gonna be pouring sidewalks, we gotta make sure they can get access into their lots.
Right.
We've talked with staff about having break points for lots in accordance with the issues ZDP'd, so they would have access. We need to define those things specifically and outline it so that we can go to the builders and coordinate with them and communicate with them. We can get the inspections done, get the on-site testing, the concrete testing and the like.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Anything else, Jeff?
Yeah, just curious question, if I may. Is there any reason why you began without the proper permitting in place? Was that a misunderstanding of our code and ordinances, or was there another reason for that to have begun to begin with?
Different process. In working with city staff, previous city staff and the like, we were authorized to come in and remove trees and do rough grading and some of that kind of stuff. The city did do inspections on what we started to do while the drawings were being modified based on the comments of the city staff to get to a final answer. So if the drawings were approved, say on March, we may have started that process with the review and the comments and going back to our engineer in January. So it's kind of an ongoing process. The current staff has kind of tightened things up. So now we know the direction they want to go. And, we're working under that umbrella.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Is this the same subdivision, maybe a different, I don't know the terminology, but filing that had the brush that the neighbors were complaining about being a firebox? All the cleared trees and things were piled and piled and piled.
Slash pile was down more so on There's an old access road north of Stone Ridge Drive that butted through. It was part of our development, construction staging area. We used that in filings 1, 2,
It was
3,
a
and
fire
4.
hazard is what it was.
Yeah, I mean, the fire department Ben went out with the fire department. They could get in there with their issue, but we got it mulched out and taken
Okay.
care of.
I'm also getting some head shakes over here. I'm trying to balance who's telling the whole story. So I have questions about that. Can you tell me why you're shaking your head?
Yeah, sorry. So the
It's
only
okay.
approval that the city ever gives to do work is under a zoning development permit and a stamped set of engineering plans. So in all my years of construction and experience through multiple states, I've never seen where you can proceed with construction without approval stamps on all of the drawings and approved zoning development permits.
Are you from a different state?
Nope, we got it squared
Okay.
away and figured out with them and proceeded in accordance with the regs.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, council, that you have for the applicant? Thank you, Skip.
Thank you.
Anything more from staff?
No, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Council? Oh, thank you, Catherine. You're so far away. Is there any public comment? I would like to open that public hearing.
And that's at your discretion. It's not necessary for this.
Okay, I don't see anyone, so thank you. Council, any more deliberation? If not, I look for a motion.
Just one quick question to make sure I understand. If we say no, then the city becomes on the hook to complete that infrastructure. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
Yes, that's correct.
sorry, I shouldn't answer for you.
I was more looking at Aaron, sorry.
Hey, Ben, what is the timeline now? What's the extension you're requesting? Because it's not on my page.
I apologize. It's to June 20th, 2024.
So I'd like to make a motion to extend Stone Ridge Village filing number 5 to June 20th of 2024. Okay, yes.
I second.
Thank you, council. Any further deliberation? All right, Suzanne.
Thank you. Gear,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Nakai,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Case,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. All right, council, we're off to item 8, ordinance on initial posting. We have none. 9 is public hearings. We have none this evening. And 10 is new business. We have none of that either. So that takes us to council reports. And beginning with the mayor's report, I will share some community events for the period of April 4th through April 18th of 2024. First, we have Wednesday, April 10th at the UPass Cultural Center. They are hosting a free community concert with singer, acoustic guitarist Paige Lynn, brought to you by Park State Bank and Trust. This is an amazing opportunity to support our local talent and have a fantastic time. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. The UPCC UPass Cultural Center bar will be open and outside food is welcome. All ages are welcome, but children must stay with an adult at all times. The next item we have is the Parks and Recreation Department is hosting a spring coloring contest. And it's always very popular. We have all age groups, all the way to senior citizens, and it's very fun. So I would encourage everyone to participate. You can download or pick up the coloring pages and submit your completed page by April 15th for a chance to win a swag bag, a certificate, and your art on display at Parks and Recreation. And the third item we have is registration for baseball, ages kindergarten through 9th grade, and girls softball ages 3rd through 9th grade is open. Check out Parks and Rec website for more details. And at this point, I just would like to thank the community and the voting public for their outstanding response to the election and for setting a record on voter turnout. That's exceptional and very important, and I'm encouraged by that. I'm sure all of you are as well. So thank you for your support and for turning out the vote. Terry. Do you have anything to report? No. That's all you have to say?
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who came out for the election. Record turnout is something that, we don't really see anymore nationally. A lot of citizens have vacated their right to vote, either by apathy or frustration with the process or whatever that case may be. So I just want to thank the community for your turnout. That was absolutely spectacular. Otherwise, as a new person to this, hope everyone will be a little bit patient with me as I kind of work through some things and get comfortable up here. But I do want to thank the community for putting their faith in me to be up here. And I hope that I serve you well. Thank you.
George,
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
you're welcome. Catherine.
Okay, so I have first, the UAC didn't meet this month because of Kip's foot and him being a little bit behind. So we will do that next month. And then there is the Woodland Park Chamber Business Expo, which is April 11th at the Ute Pass Cultural Center, Deb. And then I wanted to thank, and they're not all here, but I wanted to thank all who ran for city council and mayor. Thank you for stepping up and putting yourself out there. It is not an easy task. Thank you for your confidence as your mayor pro tem. And we all need to unite and learn to get along with civil discourse towards the common goal of making Woodland Park the best place to live, work, and play. Next, congratulations to the new council. Welcome to the bankers' hours and great pay.
Excellent. Thank you, Catherine. Steve.
Wish I could.
Keep working on that. Welcome all of you to the dais. It's been a great meeting. I know I have to go this way, but I want to congratulate all of you and compliment you in your first meeting. City Attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Congratulations to all our new members. I know we've had a long evening, so I'll be brief. We recently were notified of a lawsuit being filed challenging the short-term rental ordinance recently adopted by the voters here in Woodland Park. The plaintiff is an entity called the Teller County Short-Term Rental Alliance. Their attorney is David Illingworth, who I know many of you know. The defendant is the city council and Aaron here. The plaintiff asserts various claims, statutory and constitutional, against the ordinance. We have referred it to the city's insurance carriers and we're waiting for a response about their defense. We're still analyzing it ourselves. I myself haven't read the complaint in detail yet. We encourage you, while we're figuring out what our legal strategy is insofar as your named defendants now, to refrain from public comment, at least concerning the substance of the lawsuit, and public comment includes social media, please. And once we hear back from CIRSA, the Colorado Intergovernmental Risk Sharing Agency, our insurance carrier, we will, of course, be notifying you of your options and discussing next steps, doubtless in an executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Aaron.
All right. Congratulations to each of you. I look forward to working with you all. I have a couple of things I'd like to say tonight. To our crews out there, our streets crew, they laid 20 tons of asphalt patching in the last 3 days. You've probably seen them out. The potholes have been everywhere.
I think they're happy.
Yes, I think we all are happy. I know when I drove out of Lake in 67 last night, I was cheering. I called Suzanne and I said, "You won't believe it. The greatest thing happened. This pothole has been fixed."
Those were craters.
They were craters, but yes, so the crews are out there. I appreciate all of the community's patience as we get to that because they have been working hard. Second, just a reminder, the DDA meeting was moved from this Tuesday to next Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. right here in this room. And that's all I have. Suze, did you have anything?
I just would like to welcome each and every one of you. I look forward to working with you and remind the new council Monday morning. It begins at 8 a.m. for your council orientation. Erin and I have a full day planned for you, concluding about 4:30 p.m. You'll be visiting all the various different sites in the city, meeting all the directors for each department, hopefully meeting staff, Rob Feltz will be your chauffeur. He'll be taking you all around the town, and Aaron and I will have the privilege of spending lunch with you. So we look forward to seeing you 8 o'clock Monday morning. Bagels and cream cheese.
Thank you, Suzanne. Council, I want to also just let you know that Mr. Buttery, a previous city manager, for a long time, he and I were hired 2 weeks apart in 1997. David has offered each of you, and will be, with your permission, I'd like to share your phone numbers with him. He would like to take you all on his famous tour of Woodland Park. So with your permission, I told him that would be awesome, and I'd like to share your numbers with him, and he'll arrange that with you directly.
And I can attest it's awesome. I just went on it recently and it is well worth the time.
All right? And nothing else? This meeting is adjourned.
Deb?